This is the Fancy LEDs sync box, and it has transformed my TV from this to this. Let's take a look at it. The Fancy LEDs sync box allows you to install LED lights to the back of your TV and have them sync with what is on your screen. And most importantly, you do not need a camera mounted to the top of the TV to do this. For movies, the box supports HDR and Dolby Vision, and for gaming, you've got variable refresh rates, 4K 144Hz. Inside the box, you have an instruction manual, a variety of different power adapters. You also get the sync box itself, which is about the size of your hand. You've got 2 buttons on the top, a little display across the front. This particular version is the 3-port version, so I have 3 HDMI 2.1 ports at the back, as well as a power connector and a USB-C connector. You also get some adhesive strips for the corner brackets. The light strip itself is RGBW, so you get that extra white LED, which should make the colors more accurate. Installing the lights to the TV is straightforward, but first you need to decide whether you are installing it to the left of your TV or to the right of the TV. Once you have done that, it's just a case of attaching the corner brackets to the TV with the adhesive tape. I was a little bit worried they wouldn't stick to the back of my LG TV because it's got kind of a textured finish, but I had no issues in getting these stuck to the TV. Next, you just have to peel off the adhesive strip on the back of the LEDs and feed it through the brackets and attach it to the TV. What I really like about these is the corner brackets made this so much easier. In the past, I've used just some cheap LEDs on the back of my TV, and getting that corner, you kind of have to bend it over, but with these, you can feed them through and it just bends really nicely, so you've got even color in all the corners of your TV. And then you just need to cut the strip to size. It's indicated where you need to cut by the word Fancy LEDs. It's then a case of plugging the lights into the sync box via the USB-C and connecting the power cable. Then you connect your HDMI sources. So for me, I connected my Xbox 360 and my Apple TV to the sync box itself, and then you use the HDMI cable supplied with the sync box to come out of the sync box into your TV's HDMI input. And for those wondering about HDMI eARC, in my setup, I've got a sound bar connected to my TV's HDMI eARC port. This sync box just connects to a spare HDMI port on your TV, and everything's been working absolutely fine. Once you've installed the lights to the TV, you need to download the Fancy LEDs app and add the device, which was straightforward. And it's also important at this stage that you select the right orientation of your installed lights. If you don't do this correctly, the lights will be kind of flipped, so the lights that should be on one side will appear on the other side. So make sure you go into the settings and you have your right installation orientation selected. Within the app, you can tweak a few settings, things like brightness, but also diffusion modes. Now, the diffusion modes allow you to select how many colors are detected on each side. So low is 1 color each side, medium is 3 to 5, and high utilizes all the colors of the strip. Diffusion speed is how quickly the lights change between colors. So a high diffusion speed will have the lights changing very, very quickly and can give a bit of a flicker effect, or you can lower it down. I will share my settings and my experience in playing with these towards the end of the video. There is also a scene section, so if you'd rather the lights not match the display, you can just go in and select a scene. There's a sound mode where the lights will react to sound, and you can also change the inputs, the saturation of the colors for HDR and Dolby Vision content, and whether you want ambient lighting onto, which I will cover shortly. The first thing that I wanted to test was gaming, so I loaded up Cyberpunk just to see how it responded to sort of the neon night lights, and I was blown away. It adds a level of immersion I didn't know I was missing. The lights responded really well. I actually went in and lowered the diffusion speed a little bit just because a really high had the color sort of flicking and it was almost a bit too distracting, particularly if you're going through a scene where there's lots of color changes. I lowered mine down to about 20% for gaming, and I was really happy with this. Just the way the lights work as you're walking through different rooms and driving along really added to the experience. I also tested Forza, and just racing through tunnels and the night lights and the way the TV lights were responding just really added something to the game, especially when you've got all the lights off in your front room and you just sat back playing. It kind of lights up the whole room. Really, really impressed with the gaming side of things. I'm using an Xbox Series X, so I did a quick test just to confirm that everything was working when the HDMI was passed through the sync box and not directly to the TV, and I'm pleased to say that I had green ticks across the board. One thing I really like about the LEDs is the way that they kind of turn off if the scene or the area is dark, as you can see here. So when you've got like a dark scene with just a bit of light flickering in a certain area of your TV, again, that works really well. I also tested a number of different streaming services with my Apple TV, and as mentioned, the box fully supports HDR and Dolby Vision. I had no problems passing this through the sync box as well as Dolby Atmos to the soundbar. For action movies and movies with a really vibrant colour palette, again, the LEDs add a level of immersion. However, there were some films where I felt that they were a little bit distracting. Now, you can go in and you can turn the diffusion mode down or the diffusion speed down, but what I found is a nice way of, when you don't want them distracting you too much, is to turn on the ambient light. And what the ambient light does is, instead of the LEDs turning off, they are constantly a white light. Now you can again change the brightness of this. So if you just want the ambient light quite low and the colors to still pop out, you can. I had a little fiddle with this and I found it much better for when I'm watching, TV shows where not a lot's going on. They might be just talking. Sometimes I found the lights changing a little bit distracting, but just going in and just tweaking a few things, turning that ambient light on worked much better for me for those sorts of shows. Still, for gaming and action movies and stuff like that, I kept it how I originally had it. And of course, if you were watching something and you didn't want the lights on at all, I don't know, a horror movie at night and you just want it completely dark, you can switch them off altogether. I do wish that you could save presets within the app, because I think it would be quite a nice touch to be able to save a gaming preset, to save a horror movie preset, for example. So on your gaming preset, you can have the brightness turned right up and you could have that diffusion speed much higher. Whereas if you're watching a movie, maybe you want the ambient light on and you want the brightness down a little bit more. So you have to actually go into the app and tweak it each time. Wasn't a big deal for me because I usually just set it and then watch something, but if FancyLEDs you're watching, that would be a nice addition to the app. My current setting is diffusion mode on high and the speed set to 15. I feel this is a nice balance where you don't get that flickering effect and it works well for me. But as I say, you can really customize this within the app to your liking. Two things worth mentioning. This won't work with the native apps on your TV. So if you are using Netflix that's built in on your TV, they won't work because you need to pass a signal through the sync box via HDMI. Another issue I had was just how the way the box handles input. So for example, I was playing my Xbox, I turned it off, expecting it to then flick over to my Apple TV when I turned the Apple TV on, and this didn't happen. I did reach out to FancyLEDs and they basically explained that when you power off your Xbox, most of the time it goes to sleep, because I think it can do updates and that resume play thing. Because it's still sending a signal through the HDMI cable, it won't auto switch, so you have to actually go into the Xbox settings to make it completely power off. And then it switches over to your Apple TV. This can be a bit of a pain, and again, if you've got more inputs, that might cause a few issues. So the way I've got around to it, you can just use the app to change your input very easily, or you can actually press the button on the box which can flick between inputs. Overall though, I am really impressed with the FancyLEDs sync box. Before using this, I just had an LED strip behind my TV with an orange glow. It would just be there because I like a little bit of lighting behind the TV, but this completely transformed my experience. I think they really add a level of immersion, particularly to gaming, kind of big action blockbuster movies. And the fact that you can go into the app and tweak settings is another big bonus. I think the main thing for me is the fact you do not need to attach a camera to your TV. I have a friend that has a setup where they have the camera on their TV, and I think it's really distracting. It's often the first thing people to ask, what is that on your TV? Whereas these, they're nice, they're discreet. I've personally just attached the sync box to the back of my TV with some adhesive strips, so everything is tucked away, out the way, and you wouldn't even know it's there. The model that I have been using is the HDMI 2.1 3-port, but they do have a number of different options if you don't need the 3 ports. Also, if you don't need HDMI 2.1, they have an option for you. As always though, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.